I'm a farmer working on the downstream and upstream agro-value chain. Apart from living a life as a passionate farmer, I work on transformative innovations in climate-smart agriculture that aid communities' ability to build resilience against disasters and agents of human mortality. One of the crops that we produce on farm It is an established fact that more people in Africa are living in vulnerable communities and are exposed to different kinds of risks driven by unequal access to urban spaces, farmland, infrastructure, services, safety and security. In the last 10 years, over 700,000 people lost their lives and over 1.5 billion people were affected due to various disasters, also causing economic losses worth up to 1.3 trillion US dollars. While the absolute number of people living in highly vulnerable communities continue to rise at 60%, we see more vulnerabilities to hunger, poverty, and human suffering. Alongside the deleterious effects of violence, climate change is driving disasters such as floods, erosions, sunburns, deforestation, decreasing biodiversity, droughts, food insecurity, landscape degradation, waste, epidemic diseases, and so many, all creating more vulnerabilities to human mortality. In an attempt to mitigate the impacts of these disaster mortality, I have developed climate-smart agriculture innovations in animal, crop, and fishery production for urban organic agriculture, smart greenhouses, portable fish ponds, and indoor cattle breeding. Alongside the cultivation and processing of vegetables and non-timber forest products, these transformative innovations enable farmers to grow crops and animals using organic manure, little water, little land space, little technology, and little financial capital, which are the most scarce needs in agriculture, and of course the main challenge is mitigating against agricultural productivity and food production systems in Africa. The impact has been increased food productivity, food safety, and reduction of potential hunger-related disasters. I particularly love trees and believe that trees are the biggest sinks for carbon and greenhouse gases emissions reduction. This made me to start the Live Forest in Bangui, Cameroon through teaching families tree planting. So far, between 2010 and 2016, my Trees for Disasters Resilience project has recorded over 10,000 new trees planted across Nigeria and Cameroon, particularly for community resilience building against disasters and disaster mortality reduction. In an effort to advance the Making Cities Resilient initiative, in October 2015, I initiated a community waste management project in Angwankudu, a vulnerable slum community prone to cholera and malaria deaths in Kaduna State, Nigeria. This project mobilized and trained over 150 households in responsible waste sorting, disposal, and evacuation. This project created a potential for the community to coordinate and organize their own means of protection against several agents of human mortality connected mostly to irresponsible waste disposal. Recorded impacts from these projects include decreased incidence of malaria and cholera, increased levels of clean air and hygienic environment. In January 2016, same project was replicated in the top 6 community in Bamenda 2 City Council.
If it is open, white, there will be no problem. There will be easy flow of water.
So now that people are dumping waste here, what do you understand as the consequences of that?
When it accumulates, the water overflows and disturbs and even goes into compost, goes into the land.
Recorded impacts from this project include clean neighborhoods, decreased dumping of waste in waterways, and expansion and cleaning of waterways by the community itself. This project created the potential for the community to own the responsibility of keeping their houses, their neighborhood, and their streets clean and well sanitized, and every last Saturday of the month adopted as General Sanitation Day by the community through the community head with whom I have been working. You see, the climate is changing every day. As the climate is changing, weather conditions are changing every day. Now that people are dumping this trash here, if rain falls in Bamenda for 2-3 hours consistently, all these houses will be underwater. Yeah. All these houses, the ones up there might not be, but these ones down here and the ones down there will be underwater. So what do you think if this water overflows your house in the middle of the night? Do you have any canoe that you use to escape? No. Even if you have a canoe, are you trained to use a canoe? No. If there is no way for you to even find yourself a way to rescue yourself, who are you going to call? That even if you call the gendarme to come here, do they have the equipment to evacuate people? No. So we have to prevent these disasters now before they come. The first thing is to sensitize ourselves and agree as we are agreeing here. The second thing is to get everybody to understand that what we are saying is of the benefit of everyone. And thirdly, again, to make ourselves to understand that sanitation, waste management, proper disposal of waste is part of health.
So if we would leave, I'm not return and say, men, some man can't talk. If they talk, say city council, we say if you bring city council, now we get the place, no be city council. You don't understand them? Yeah.
In May 2016, same project was replicated and introduced in cleaning up the slum community of Nkolbikok under the Yaoundé 6 City Council area, when I was invited to volunteer to assist the community notorious for cholera and malaria mortalities in Yaoundé. This project created the potential for attitude change and readiness by the communities to engage in regular cleaning and sanitation of the community, and this project earned Nkolbikok an award as the cleanest and safest community in Yaoundé metropolis at the end of 2016. In recognition as well of the importance of the role of multi-stakeholders in promoting and driving local action for the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, I organized the planting of 1,500 trees in Angwankudu community to mark the International Day for Disaster Reduction, dubbed Kaduna Switch to Sendai, October 13, 2016. This activity mobilized women, traditional leaders, youths and farmers, and fruit trees of different varieties were planted in the community, and other trees distributed to farmers planting on their farms for erosion control. Still, to mark the International Day for Disaster Reduction, a lecture on disaster risk reduction was organized to students and pupils of Steve Bed International School in Angwang, Rimi, Kaduna State, Nigeria.
What are disasters? Give me an example of a disaster. Yes, you. Fire disaster, flood disaster, erosion disaster, right? Sunburns disasters. What can we do to prevent disasters?
By cleaning our environment.
What else again?
By planting trees.
Somebody say by planting trees, right? And right here with me, I have a tree. How can trees help in preventing disasters?
The shade of the tree covers the sunburn.
Very good, excellent.
Like you rightly said, trees are very, very important within our environment, right?
Yes.
So I can rightly say one of the importance of planting trees in the environment, just like you said, some of the disaster we have is erosion, right? And erosion at times is always caused by flooding, isn't it? So when trees are being planted, it can be able to prevent flood, and at times erosion can also be prevented.
What does it say? Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. International Day for Disaster Reduction. 13th October 2016. So, I am here to tell you that this International Day for Disaster Reduction is a very important day. Children around the world, old people around the world, women around the world, and leaders around the world are all raising their commitment to see how we can all together prevent disasters. Because flood is killing so many people around the world. Sunburns are killing so many people. Harsh winds and harsh weather activities are destroying lives and property. And all these disasters are keeping our lives at risk. If disasters hit our society, it will kill your future for a bright dream, right? It will destroy our hope, it will destroy our vision. Some of you want to be president tomorrow. Some of you want to be lawyers. Some of you want to be everything that you dream to be, right?
Yes.
But you can only be your dream if we start preventing our communities, our societies from disasters. If not, disaster will kill us and we will not be able to realize our dreams. We all have to mobilize ourselves and support the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. Keep this in your mind. We all have to reduce disasters. Reducing disasters. So, because of that, the governments around the world sat down and agreed on what's called Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. It started in 2015, and we are trying to see how we can take it up to 2030. And take note that we are living in Bamenda, northwest Cameroon, where it is in the earthquake belt. How many of you know about earthquake? Very good. All of you know about earthquake. That is wonderful. We should all know about earthquake. We want to see how we can prevent Bamenda people like my mother, like your father, like your brothers, like your sisters from becoming victims of any earthquake that may happen in Bamenda. We want to see that we all live to tell. How many of you want to live to tell? What will you be living to tell? You will be living to tell the story of your life. And I'll be living to tell the story how one day we sat here and spoke on how to reduce disaster mortality. What does that mean? When disaster comes, we should not see people die. So now, I'm just going to ask a small question before we go ahead. How many kinds of disasters do you guys know around the world? We have floods, we have earthquakes, cyclones, landslides, eruptions, flooding, landslides again, and so many of them. Still to mark the International Day for Disaster Reduction and advance the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction at local level and multi-stakeholder level, another lecture was held with students of Government High School Songwa in Bamenda, Northwest Cameroon. Then other stakeholders like teachers, traders and people at leisure points had to be informed and motivated to know and take action about the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. All in all, mortality reduction has been at the center of our engagement. Live to tell, life is very essential. But to live a life and to hope for a life, we need an environment, we need lifestyles that support safety, resilience, and sustainability. Thank you.